Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really profound from the Gospel of John. It's John 16:28, where Jesus says, I came from the Father and have come into the world. Again, I am leaving the world and going to the Father. Sounds pretty clear on the surface, right? But, well, what if there's more packed in there than we usually think? Our mission today is to unpack this using our sources to hopefully give you a few of those aha moments.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how the sources make us rethink some core ideas, like heaven and Father.
Yeah.
They aren't always what we first assume, and getting these right is key to understanding the Son's whole journey.
Okay, let's start with that first part, coming from the Father. Now, often when we hear heaven, we picture clouds, angels, maybe a physical place up there. But our sources suggest something different. They talk about heaven not just as the place angels are, but maybe as God's own realm, like within the Spirit God. So if that's the case, where did the Son actually come from?
That's the crucial point. The sources suggest he came from the Father, not from the angel heaven or some point in space, but from within the Spirit God's own being. He then entered our space-time through the Spirit God. Think of it less like travel and more like an emergence.
An emergence. Wow. Okay. That definitely shifts things from just, point A to point B.
Exactly. It reframes his arrival. It's about divine origin, not just geography.
So that's the coming from. But then the verse says, he's leaving the world and going to the Father. Oh, if coming wasn't a simple trip, what about going back? Is it just reversing the process? Or is there more?
Well, yeah, what does returning mean for an infinite God? The sources point us towards God's name. And here, name is, it's more than just a title. It represents God's actual presence, his authority, made real within space-time.
Okay, so not just a label.
Right, so returning to the Father means returning to the Father's name. It means ascending to what the sources call the actual throne. This is where God has placed his name, his authority. We see hints of this in John's Gospel, like in 6.62 or 17.11.
The actual throne. So this ascension, it's about inheriting the Father's name, taking ownership over space-time, and establishing his authority over everything, even those who resisted, like Satan.
Precisely. The cross plays a key role here too, affirming the justice of that judgment and his right to rule from that throne.
Okay, that makes sense.
And when Scripture talks about the right hand of the Father, that's another way of talking about this actual throne. It signifies this ultimate position of authority and favor. It's not literal geography for an infinite being.
Right, God doesn't have a literal right hand, it's symbolic.
It's the place of cosmic rule.
So if this return is about ascending to authority, not just going somewhere else, how does that change things for us, for believers?
Well, that's where it becomes very personal. His return, his ascension to that throne, is what enables him to send the Spirit God. That's how the Father and Son come and dwell with believers. It's through the Spirit God. And the Spirit is sent in the Son's name, which, remember, is the Father's name, his authority. John 14 talks about this.
So it's an active presence, an indwelling, mediated by the Spirit, empowered by that ascended authority.
Exactly, a dynamic connection.
And that really highlights the Son's unique role, doesn't it? Why he's the only way, truth, and life to the Father. Because only through him, through his work and ascension, can our sin be dealt with, making it even possible for us creatures to approach the Father.
He is the necessary bridge, the only way that gap can be crossed.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive shows coming from and returning to the Father aren't just about movement. They're about profound theological realities. The Spirit God's realm, the Father's name as his active authority, the Son ascending to the actual throne, and ultimately how he establishes his authority and presence right here with believers through the Spirit.
It really is quite profound when you unpack it. So here's something to think about. How does really grasping this journey from the Father's presence within the Spirit into the world to the cross, then ascending to the throne, and then sending the Spirit to you, how does that reshape how you think about God being present with you and your own path to connecting with him?